What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another
Yes.
episode. We're
Yeah.
doing another movie review.
Ooh,
So we
yes.
recently watched a movie called The Substance, which
Yes.
it's pretty new, I think, right?
Yeah, 2024 maybe?
Okay, yeah, so pretty new.
Maybe.
And yeah, so we'll just be kind of talking about how we felt about it, the
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
general what the movie was about, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
getting into it. So
Yeah, yeah. You want me to just do all right, well,
yeah, why don't you tell us about the movie then?
yeah, well, essentially the movie is about an aging movie star that essentially was famous, had like the height of the peak of her career, as you would say. And now she is kind of in a transitional moment in her career as she is now a middle-aged woman, and she is kind of struggling with that transition out of stardom, out of the limelight. And yeah, she is kind of dealing with that. Her network just dropped her.
Yeah.
They are looking for someone younger. She overheard a phone call with an executive, and generally, yeah, they decided to replace her. So not only was she dealing with kind of her own internal, battles with aging itself, but also the fact that she had just lost her job, kind of marking the true end of her career.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was kind of what took her to
The Substance.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
another
yeah,
interesting part about kind of the build up in the movie was
yeah.
like her almost being haunted by older pictures of herself. Like or I
Yeah, the
guess younger
imagery.
pictures of
Right, yeah,
herself.
yeah.
I was like older time wise, but you know
Right,
what I
yeah.
mean. She was much younger, and that was like her limelight
Mm-hmm.
era.
Yeah.
And yeah, like to your point of her going through that kind of almost midlife crisis of aging,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she was at the same time literally walking by images of her younger self every
Yeah.
single day, being reminded of like what she once was.
Yeah, for real. And I mean, that's real. That's real life. That's people deal with that every day.
For
Looking
real.
at pictures of your younger self, like times you had in the past,
Yeah.
anybody can reminisce on those younger times and really relate to like what she was feeling about like aging and
100%.
stuff. But for her, I feel like there was a different element to it, right? Because had that stardom, those
Right.
fans, those lights, that action, the movies,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell that she liked that and she
Yeah.
missed that.
100%. It
And
almost was like an addiction.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, addiction. Yeah, we're gonna come back to that a
Yeah.
little later, but definitely, like she really thirsted after remaining in the limelight,
Yeah,
and
she did.
was quite literally willing to do anything, regardless of the risks. And
Facts.
now,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what happened? She was at the doctor for
Hmm.
something.
She got into a car accident. She was looking at them
Right.
tear down her billboard, and
Yeah.
then ran a stop sign or something,
And
and
got
boom.
T-boned.
Yep.
Yes. She got
Yep.
in a really bad accident. That's right.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
memory.
Thank you.
And she was at the doctor's, and
Yeah.
there was like the older doctor who was conducting the exam, and then the nurse
Yep.
who was very young, very like objectively attractive person,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he almost like primed her, you
Yeah. It
know?
was weird. Like the doctor walked out, gave her prescription or whatever, and then that guy, like, essentially, because her hospital gown was still open or whatever, he like looked at her spine, like looked at her
Right, and like
back.
did a heart check, like checked
Yeah.
her heart rate or
Yeah, and then he
something.
goes, "You're a perfect specimen," or something like
Yeah,
that.
or like a perfect candidate or
Oh,
something.
candidate,
Yeah.
candidate. Yeah, exactly. So then he handed her coat. You, of course, called that at the time.
I was like, there's gonna be something in her pocket.
Boom. Sure enough, there was a call or a USB that
Right.
had a phone number on the back, and it played the little video about the
Right. It said,
substance.
the note said, it changed my life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Safe to say.
right. So, I mean, crazy from then on.
Yeah.
She ends up taking the substance.
Right.
She waffles back and forth, but
Calls
inevitably,
them
right, yeah.
and then like picks up the substance.
Yeah, and goes through with the process. So essentially,
Can we just say
yeah.
the process of getting the substance? She got the card in the mail and then had to go to some address
Some scary address. Yeah,
in
yeah.
like the middle of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then scan a card into some steel door
Yeah.
that didn't open all the way. And then she had to crawl under it, and there was just this like doctor's room-esque locker
Yeah.
room,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Yeah, super
Super
weird.
weird.
But essentially, yeah, she goes through with it. That it gives them very explicit rules. You take the activator once, some green, compound V looking stuff. You take the activator once. You
Oh, right.
switch once a week.
Once a week,
You
every 7 days,
every
without exception.
right. Yeah, switch
Yeah.
every week without
And then the
exception,
stabilizer.
and then stabilize once a day.
Yeah.
So there are rules. There's like these packs of food.
But can we just say they were explicit, but they were not detailed?
They didn't give warnings, right? They did not give warnings.
Right.
But I mean, it was a sketchy phone number on a flash drive.
I'm saying.
And based on the pickup location, sketchy.
Yes. 100%.
So I just feel like, anyway, let's get into what happens. So she tries this stuff, and then she's like looking at herself like, what a joke. And then she starts having like an attack.
Yeah, like almost like passing out, feeling, and then falls on the ground.
Yeah, her spine.
And starts like having almost a seizure, and then you can see something like moving in her spine.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that alien.
Yes, it did. Yeah. And then like her spine literally just split open.
Like the skin just.
Yeah, like a surgical split. Too.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Surgical.
Wow.
And
that
then
was crazy.
Somebody
else
climbed out.
Popped out. The younger version.
Other self.
The other self, yeah, as they called it. Popped out. Crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like a young hip version, whatever. We kind of called it early that she was going to do the lame thing and try and follow the exact same path.
Yeah, just stuck with the addiction.
Yeah, clearly. Literally. Immediately was like, all right, I got to get famous.
Auditioned
again.
For her own replacement.
Right. Got the part. But basically, what you're seeing that the switch at first is starting to happen, but the younger version is starting to get pissed at the older version.
Right. I mean, there is so much that leads up to that.
Yeah.
You know, because we could talk. We should talk about like the sexualization aspect of like the younger self, because that's like immediately the first thing they did as soon as she got up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right. And like was checking herself out and like looking at her new assets and like literally just like sexualizing her own body.
Yep.
And like that was a huge theme throughout.
Yeah, it was. And I thought it was something that we talked about was like the executives in the film. We thought it was like hysterical, the portrayal of them, like these just like middle-aged white guys that are just like gross, just like, into this hypersexualization of like young girls. Mm-hmm. And that kind of represents what is out there. So
I mean, and it was clearly the audience of the show probably wasn't women doing the workouts and the dances and things. It was all these like white men, like kind of also playing on that male loneliness epidemic. All these kind of like white men, older white men preying on
because the neighbor
wearing
the neighbor was a viewer,
was one of her biggest fans.
And that like highlighted like the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
so that was like crazy. A huge theme throughout, because even the people who were the casting the people who were auditioning were two just average white men talking about, everything's in the right spot, or like, I wish her boobs were in the middle of her face instead of that nose.
Like, they literally said
that was crazy. So like it really portrayed how toxic like a lot of society is towards women generally as well.
And then obviously that turned into like propelling her into like stardom, right?
Immediately, immediately, because she knew how to do it. She had lived that experience already. So she was like also manipulating that.
Exactly.
Scene.
But you see, the part that she was struggling with is the other self. Because every 7 days you're supposed to switch. Mm-hmm. And so she didn't like that switch, because obviously she was losing time to do all of these big life things that she wanted to do.
Yes.
And so this was kind of where that, go ahead.
But on the other side, the original Elizabeth, whatever her name was, I think it was Elizabeth, she was really struggling with the aspects, especially now with the aspect of being an older woman.
Right.
Like she almost started having a much harder time with her aging after doing this because she was like living that 7 days of young, like hot, whatever. And then having to go back to her kind of like lonely older life.
Right. Yeah. That's such a good point. And I mean, like, do you think it was the same person? Like, obviously the younger version came from the one body, but were they the same person?
I feel like it kind of, to me, was giving, like, it was the same person, but the age was also, like, the maturity level.
Okay.
Like, her younger other self was also, like, of the age of being, like, selfish and, like, kind of narcissistic and,
you
like,
see it throughout
only
all the
caring
little
about herself and what she needed. And, like, yes, it might be the same person, but like the original person was also very like self-hating. So the younger version of herself was also like, you don't deserve this time.
Right.
It's kind of how I was thinking.
And she was moving all of the older stuff out. She had written on the boxes like old junk and stuff, and was like hiding all of her old stuff, and essentially like monopolizing the time.
Right.
and that was kind of the downfall of it all.
Yeah, because
it started with the finger.
I was just gonna say that was crazy because I don't even know what happened. She had a date or something. She had a date and was like, I need more time.
Yep.
And then did an extra day of stabilization.
Yep.
And then
when the other half woke up, the finger was like
dead.
Yeah.
It was like
just
dead.
Yeah, just like, I don't even know.
Like if you think about almost like decomposing
like
body.
A zombie finger. Yeah.
Literally.
Kinda. It was just like dark. She could barely move it.
Right.
Like,
but now
man, that
the other self. You want to go turn it off?
Yeah.
All right. Time out.
Thank you. You can keep going. I can hear you. I can still hear you. No.
The other self though, like having now done this once,
right,
now she knows that she can take extra days,
right, but the other half is like, yo, my finger. So she's like calling the hotline and she's like, what is going on? The other half is taking time, and the hotline is like, there is no other half. You
are one.
Yeah.
What's been taken cannot be given back. Like talking in riddles, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying, but it speaks to how kind of sketchy the whole thing was.
Right. Yeah.
And that was the first time that the original Elizabeth was like petty. Also, like leaving stuff, kind of like
around
making her the other self clean up, and like,
and that's what started the war.
That is what started the war.
Started it. So then,
my God.
And then it just got really bad, obviously, as the stardom started to rise. Like the younger self didn't want to give back up the time. Right,
because after that first time she was petty, she took like, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 more days?
Yeah.
And then her whole leg.
Oh, the leg.
Hated that one. Her whole leg was like,
when they did the like...
Yeah. Oh, having to like force it back into place.
Yeah, that was brutal. God. That was a hard watch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm just thinking about her sprinting down the hallway later.
Oh my God. Yeah, because
it's like, yo, I thought your legs were stiff. Right. Now you're sprinting like a linebacker
because
down
I'm
the
pretty
hallway.
Sure. Oh my God, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure when her leg was dead, her hair also was now like gray and short, and you could see like her aging more. Out. Because I wanted to mention this too, because we were talking about how she was really struggling with like the aging aspect almost even more after she had been doing this, and like after her finger was dead, because she had seen that one guy who she allegedly went to high school with. and he like asked her on a date.
Right,
remember?
that was
and
pretty
then,
early. Yeah,
right, that was after, like right after her finger, 'cause she was wearing the gloves all the time at that point.
Okay, got
and
you.
then like she said yes, like called him and was like, yeah, let's do it, whatever.
Right.
And then she was literally getting ready for the date, about to walk out the door,
for the date,
and then just like looking at the billboard of Sue out her window.
Yeah.
Like, and just, yeah, that also sent her into an even worse spiral.
Yeah. That
and
was
then,
brutal.
yeah. But anyway, back to what we were saying before about like the messes and like them stealing each other's time and things like that, because the older self didn't steal any time.
No, the older self wasn't doing it. The older self was kind of like, at first, kind of in support, kind of thirsting after that kind of secondhand stardom that was coming with the fact that she knew that the younger self was her. But as the younger self started stealing more and more of her body, like her physical body, it started making her realize that it wasn't really worth it, because now she was this old creature and the younger self was still out living their best life.
Right.
And I also think, like, to your point, like with the aging element, I feel like it is kind of like the metaphor, right? Like you're thirsting after the, you know, elements that try and make you young and make you feel young and those sorts of things, but in the process you're actually like losing who you are.
Yes.
And also like not realizing the long-term effects of some of those things.
Facts.
So
yeah, so true, because you make minor tweaks here and there over time, but like if you look at the beginning and then the ending, it's like a completely different person. You know, just thinking about like plastic surgery or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, because the whole kind of like thirsting after the youth is very like, I don't know, it's obviously anti-aging. I am, you know,
I mean,
I'm trying to pre-do that myself, you know.
Right, yeah.
But like,
she was after like the stardom and stuff that she used to have. Like she wanted to relive her younger days and those younger experiences. And I feel like, yeah, she was sacrificing her own physical body in order to see that happening for like another version of herself. And that I feel like was the like element that was so sad to see because when the person asked her on the hotline, do you want to stop, that one time after she came back with both legs gone and the whole arm or whatever, and she was like, no, like she had the opportunity to stop, to get the termination kit, and she chose not to do that because, again, she was wanting to have that feeling again.
Right. Yeah, but it's like she also like hated the other self at the same time, because she was like doing that petty stuff with the food, and like the time before, the other self basically just put her down. She had literally, I mean, the food all over the apartment was just like hysterical. Disgusting. Because at that point she had like both her legs were dead because the other self had stolen so much time, and then like her back, where the little needle had to go into her back.
That was gruesome. That was bad. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Oh man. But yeah, because then like she
well, essentially what happened, kind of like getting towards the climax, was like when the younger self, she essentially, after that instance where the apartment was left like in a disaster, she was like, I'm not switching back with her anymore. So she went to the body in that little secret closet in the bathroom and essentially drained as much fluid as she could from like the main body. And then she just went on living her life. It showed her just draining, I mean, jar upon jar. She was just draining as much of the fluid as possible. And essentially, like, eventually she was just living her life, and then she started bleeding.
Because she had stolen 3 months worth of time.
3 months.
She stole 3 months.
So and never switching back. You're supposed to switch every single week without exception. And she went 3 months without it.
So on her big night hosting the New Year's Eve show or whatever.
Yep.
She started having like the effects of not stabilizing.
Facts. So then she went to go grab some more fluid, and it was tainted.
Disgusting.
It looked so gross.
It looked so
like
gross.
Nothing looked worse than the entry wound, though.
The entry wound was sickening.
Yeah, hard to look at. And then the fluid that came out was not like the usual clear substance. It was like a little like yellow, had some floaties in it. It was hard to look at.
It was, disgusting.
But essentially, she wasn't able to use that. So she calls the hotline. She calls the hotline. She's like, "What's going on here? Why is the fluid tainted?"
Ma'am, you need to let the stabilizer fluid renew every week.
Bro said, "You haven't let it renew. We've seen this before. What do you mean by that? You need to switch back."
Literally.
She just thought she was never going to switch back.
She thought it was just endless. She was going to be able to
just keep draining the main
fluid
body
out of this husk of a human being.
Nah, that was so dirty of her. I could not believe she was trying to pull that.
Crazy.
And then
she had to switch back.
Yeah, she had to switch
Literally
back.
had to switch back.
And when she switched back the main body,
I honestly could not have prepared myself for what she looked like when she got up.
She was a monster.
She was literally a monster. That was crazy. That was rough. Like...
So she immediately was like, termination. God. I want this done. I want the termination. They, of course...
delivered it.
They put it in her storage locker. So, of course, she had to go wrap up and then go scurry to the dungeon, to the locker to get the termination. And then she's in the process of termination.
And then with this much fluid left to get into the body,
she backs out of the I can't even say that.
She stops. Which
does the most annoying thing. We are already almost at 2 hours at this point. Could have ended the movie right here.
And then, the other self wakes up.
Well, she went and saved the other self. She didn't do the fluid. Right. And then she goes and gets the transfer tube, puts the transfer tube in, stabs the transfer tube all dramatically into the other self's heart.
Yeah.
And then it finally pumps whatever. And then they do a little highway swap, but then they both wake up.
Right. They're both awake. And then they start fighting.
The other self was somehow practicing karate.
A superhero.
Was also part Homelander, part... I mean, she just starts swinging on this monster.
And she flew. She flew like she weighed nothing.
Kick and kicked him across the room. Kicked it across the room.
Yeah,
it. That's what I would call it. Kicked it across the room.
I'm dead.
I mean, the other self was whooping that ass.
She was.
She was whooping ass. That monster didn't stand a chance. The monster's just trying to run away. She's like...
I know. She's smashing her head against the mirror. Oh my God. And she's kicking her ribs.
And then she finally hits the KO, Bane, Batman, drop on the glass table, finisher move.
And literally.
And then she's just like, all right, time to go host the Oscars.
Literally. The New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the New Year's Eve or whatever. Just hops out
all willy-nilly, gets all ready and everything. But I'm just could they not both just exist at that point?
She should have known they are one.
Could they not both have just been alive?
She knew that she was getting the fluid from that being. So if you kill that being, where are you supposed to get your fluid anymore? Also, duh. So yeah, basically, at this point, everything escalated mad fast. She gets to her thing. She's going through rehearsals. And then her teeth start falling out.
And then she went to the bathroom and willingly started pulling more teeth out. Why are we doing this?
And then they came, and then the white executive team of the
all of them were just middle-aged white men.
All of them were just white guys,
and they're all staring at her, drooling. Hey, literally,
smile for us. Smile. Pretty girls are supposed to smile. And at this point, she has no teeth in her front.
And so she's like,
and they're like, perfect. in their creepy little thing,
So
and then some
creepy.
younger women ran by.
All the like backup dancers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they just chased after them with their like.
Literally, they were like
hyenas.
Galloping behind them. It was so funny, but
Crazy.
So real.
Yeah, really
so
doing
real.
that portrayal. I love the portrayal that they did.
They did.
They
really called a lot of attention of like the sexualization and like fetishization of like young women.
Yeah. But yeah, the monster somehow sneaks back. No. Sorry, the other self ends up sneaking back to the apartment and taking the leftovers of the what did I call it? The starter, the substance.
Yeah,
she
like
takes
the
leftovers of the starter,
the
activator, which you were only supposed to take
one time
and dispose of.
Dispose.
She took it here
because she didn't dispose of it,
and the other self did it. So now the one that popped out of the other,
guys,
it looked like. What's that thing from Rick and Morty that is like the conjoined
oh my god, it's literally on the tip of my tongue.
I forget what it's called. That's what it looked like.
Are you talking about like the Cronenberg?
Yeah, the Cronenberg. That's what it looked like. It looked like those monsters. They were
literally a mesh of
there was like faces and teeth,
arms
and
mouths and a face on the back, an arm on the back.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was crazy.
And she like cut out her face, the like original self's face.
Oh god.
And like glued it on and then like drew with lipstick around the mouth
and
to make the smile.
They let her back in. Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
The dress was ripped and had the faces popping out and stuff.
It looked nothing like her.
So she gets up on stage.
Somehow makes it to the stage.
We have no clue how this happened. Security.
And the voice is so deep.
Thank you, everybody. No, the voice was low-key hysterical. We started laughing.
They did. They were so dirty. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the mask fell off. The veil. Yeah, the veil finally was lifted,
and everyone was just staring for like 10 to 30 seconds.
Staring at her.
And I was like, "Is nobody gonna say
and
or
then
do
somebody
anything?"
Finally said what we've said multiple times already. Monster. And then the next thing that happened was kind of crazy. At some point, they were pushing her around.
Literally, they were pushing her around.
Someone hits her arm off, like knocks off her arm.
This was crazy.
And then it is just a red.
Well, because before that, someone had knocked the head off, and then it regenerated. Right? Remember?
Yeah, it did regenerate. That was crazy.
That was crazy. And then
the hand was just like.
It was like a fire hose.
Just everything was just hosed in red. It was
insane. Crazy.
That was nuts to see.
I don't mean to laugh, but it was just so unrealistic. It was crazy. It was literally never ending blood, and then it showed her like running down the hallway, still just spraying blood everywhere. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And then kind of towards the end of the movie, she was like running, and her legs were so swollen and like dead, and and then one of them blew up, and then she fell, and the whole body exploded. And then her face, the original's face, was somehow an octopus.
It was like the internal organs. Oh yeah, and if we didn't say it already, spoilers. I don't know.
Oh.
It's too late for that. You're 28 minutes in.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler alerts.
But now, so that's basically the synopsis, the overview of basically the whole film. We think it had some really good undertones addressing like aging, people trying to that fear of aging.
Right. Well, because the end of the movie too was like, I was gonna say the octopus self crawled over to her Hollywood star,
right?
Which was like the theme from the beginning, showing how she went from like the hot new like famous person, whatever, to then like the old star cracking and like them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they just swept off her star,
and then life
things
went
continued. Right, because she was already basically forgotten.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty dramatic, but they did a good job like addressing some of those like tones that are real in society. Kind of like the over-sexualization of women, especially young women. We know that these like older people like are into that stuff, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Additionally, like the aging process, people not wanting to age, kind of doing things, augmentations to their own body to try and grasp onto that like youthfulness, whatever, which inevitably ends up doing more damage because they don't know the long-term effects of a lot of these aesthetics.
No, they don't.
And so, yeah, the movie did a good job of addressing some of those things in the substance. So, overall, what sort of rating would you give it?
I mean, I would give it like, I'd say like a 7.
Okay. Well, we chatted about something which I think also is fair, is that like you can't always judge movies based on the category they're in.
Right.
Because we didn't really think this movie fit into a horror film first per se. We felt like it was more along the thriller, like a gory thriller, you know? And I feel like there should be a category for films out like that aren't really like a horror film, because it wasn't like scary, but,
right, it really wasn't, but it was
okay,
like
so 7 out of 10.
7 or 8, I would say.
Okay, yeah, solid.
Just because, I mean, I feel like it touched on a lot of things.
Yeah,
but I feel like certain elements could have been better.
Yeah, I hear that.
What about you?
I'm gonna go right there with you. I'm gonna go with 6.5.
Yeah,
I think kind of the same. Yeah, I think I love the elements they touched on, some very real world issues and stuff. There's just some things in there that I don't know. I don't know if they were meant to be comical, but we were low key like cracking up. So because of those moments, I don't know if something's in the horror thriller. I don't know. I don't know when it's supposed to be intentional or, you know, whatever. But if a movie that's in the horror category isn't scaring me, I definitely don't want to be laughing.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I was going to say, I feel like, because we had talked about this, not to go off to a different movie, we had talked about this with Obsession, because there were like comedic relief moments in that movie, which I appreciated.
Needed that.
That movie was crazy. But this movie, I kind of would have liked more if it played more on like the suspense or like the I don't know, because I feel like some of it was comical, but I feel like it wasn't purposely comical.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, I guess our average would probably be about a 7.
Yeah, 7.
It was a decent film. Got some good messaging behind it.
Yeah,
and is a good watch. You know.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was a pretty good watch.
Kind of on the longer end, over 2 hours, so hit or miss. But you could watch it in 2 doses if you need to. You know, but you switch every week.
You are one.
You are one. Remember, no. But yeah, so those were our thoughts on The Substance.
If you made it this far,
thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.